I'm Leroy Neiman, and we're in my New York studio. And our get-together here today is based pretty much on this mercantile painting I did in Chicago, which was a long process. The original is a big painting, and I don't think I fell short of what was there. It's exciting, dramatic, noisy, friendly, hostile, any word you want to add to it. It's a great scene. I've painted a number of these stock exchanges in different places, the Stock Exchange of London, the Bourse in Paris, the New York Stock Exchange of Brazil or Rio in Sao Paulo. Because it's an interesting thing. It shows a lot of personality and sameness. They're very international, and you know something important is going on there. Money.
Now, this small trader decided that the larger trader had stolen the trade from him, walked up, hit him in the jaw, and I watched this 6'2" trader fall and basically was out. Now, the security guard came running over, and as he did, I remember seeing this smaller trader pull out a whole wad of $100 bills. He threw two of them on top of this prone gentleman. And the security guard said, well, you know, Mr. So-and-so, that's going to be a $100 fine. And he said, well, you know, he goes, I left you $200, pick them both up. When the son of a bitch gets up, I'm going to hit him again. You know, and now that's the way it used to be on the floor. I mean, it used to be where it was a country club mentality. You know, these days, if you hit somebody on the floor, it's going to cost you $20,000 or $30,000. It'll cost you a couple of months, and you might even get kicked off the floor permanently. But I mean, and that's the way it's shifted, just to give you an idea. So pit etiquette is kind of, it all depends on when you were there. Now, one of the things that I love about pit etiquette is the fact that it's self-policing. That same person that stole a trade, for example, would be shunned in the pit. You would find a broker, for example, that has had a problem with a local. Remember, all of these locals are bidding and offering the same price in unison, and it's a question of who gets the trade. What a local would, or what a broker would do, because again, the broker controls some of that order flow, if he feels he was wronged by a certain local, he would indeed look right at that local and then trade with everybody around him, making sure that local got nothing. And it would be as if a shroud was thrown on him and he was invisible, but it would be a cold stare while he traded with everybody around him. Now, you know, that happens to you once and you learn your lesson. And you know, it's one of those things where if you do it enough, you end up getting very little trade in the pit, and those around you don't want to trade with you, and your reputation is everything. Remember, you know, one of the things about our business is that everything is a promise. You write it on a card. Your reputation is everything. Therefore, if you have a bad reputation, we do not trade with you. It's as simple as that.
There are still pits out there, but it's not quite the same. It was a lot of fun competing with the guys next to you. Even if you didn't like them, there was something about the competitive nature. Now on the computer, you sit there, it doesn't feel competitive. You put your bids, or you take an offer, you hit a bid. You know, it's great when things work well, but it's certainly nothing like standing in that pit all day long, screaming and yelling. And
I think it's difficult to provide an argument for the pit being a necessity. I don't think that is the case anymore. I think that you can see that that these contracts could be traded computer. Now there are certain times where that won't be the case, you know, and there's always certain glitches that can occur within the computer system. But for, you know, as far as I can remember, it's been years since the E-mini contract went down.
The computer, what it does in the pit, it takes a lot of the orders out of the broker's hands. So there's less action or activity or trades being traded in the pit and more on the computer. So when the market is going one way and there's less paper in the pit, it's harder for the local in the pit to get out or in, because a lot of it has gone from the broker's hands to the computer. Whereas the locals now are needed and wanting to have computers on them. So if the action is in the pit for this minute, they can get it in the pit. But if it seems to be on the computer, or there's an edge on the computer, they also have the computer to get in or out of the market at the same time.
So for the exchanges, it's good. For the individual, it's another tougher road to haul.
I'd say learn how to do it technically on the machines because it's hard to do it in the pit anymore because the edge, which we talked about, has pretty much been removed from being here. We're old timers. We've been here for 30 years. This is what we do.
I didn't have an education. You know, I didn't go to college. You know, I didn't do this shit. I didn't have any money. I didn't have nothing. It's a great place for young kids to come in here, learn the business. If they have any honor and scruples and balls, they can do okay. You know, you don't have to be the richest guy, but you can do really well here by keeping your shit together. It's a real test on your own character because the greed and the stardom and all that bullshit that goes with the money eats a lot of people up, you know, and spits them out. You know, the market, I call the market a big whore. The market is a whore. It's out to fuck as many people as it can. So what I'm good at is I'm really good with whores. So I know what a whore looks like. And I know how whores set you up. The market's a whore. It sets you up. Like you'll hear guys say, and you know, they'll say, you know, I've had this position all day, and as soon as I get out, it turns around. I've said it. It's happened to everybody. It's because the market knows, man. The market's a whore. Knows when you're going to come, knows when you're not going to come, knows when you're going to go to the John, knows everything. You just got to know what a whore looks like. And then when you know what a whore looks like, you know when it's setting you up. But then you have to know what you're like. It gets confusing. See, the beauty of trading, when it's really going, it's a rhythm. And you're just doing your thing. The problem is when it slows down sometimes, you start thinking. And anytime anybody thinks, you're usually pretty fucked. It's the thinking, because then you start analyzing too much, this, that, you know, and you're out of your game already. You know, you let yourself be taken out. That's the market taking you out. It knows how to play with you. It's a real, it's an animal. It lives and breathes, and it's always, it's it. It's like, you know, it's like, I can't use that right. I don't want to say it's not like, it's not like God, but for what we do, it is God. You know what I mean? Because it's it. It's the entity. It's everything. It's right and it's wrong, and it's always right. There's never a wrong in the market. The market's never wrong. The market does whatever it wants to do. They call it a free market. And it's out to fuck everybody. That's its job. As long as you know what you're dealing with, you're okay. Other than that, enough of the horse talk.
I was always a single guy, you know, never fraternity guy and stuff like that, just solo. Went to 4 different schools, 4 years. And just always felt more comfortable by myself. But you need that power down there. I always thought if I had a father down there, you know, someone to protect you.
Did you ever have anybody that looked over you?
No, fuck. Everyone fucking tried to fuck me over.
So Reba is one of the more unique individuals, you know, on the inside of the pit. And I was just starting to figure out how really complex and how involved, you know, this industry really is when that Reba thing went down. So I don't know of the position or really what he did that caused problems. But one of the only ways you can really get in trouble as an independent contractor with no clients, no, you know, real responsibilities but to yourself is with the clearing firm that actually makes your trades good, holds your money, and at the end of the night matches everything that you do with the people you do it with. So Reba's problem, from my understanding, is that he put on a position that was bigger than what his clearing firm was interested in backing or supporting. And so his clearing firm was the one that physically removed him from the floor and covered his position and that, so.
Yeah, let's start. I need to get you to just say your name, first and last name, and we can spell it.
That's it.
I want to ask.
It took a year before I started trading.
Yeah.
One thing I always wondered is, like, what makes it down there? What is the common denominator? look at me. Why would anybody think they're better than me? Well, I mean, so everybody I knew came down there. If Reba can make it, I can make it. 99% of you are gonna fail. Because there's no perfect trade. I mean, you're never happy. Are you kidding? You get out always wrong. You're wrong, wrong, wrong. So if there's anything more humbling than trading, I don't know what it is. How you can think you're cocky and be a trader. If you find a cocky trader, you're finding a liar. Because you ask that cocky trader about perfect trades. He's got none. Because there's no perfect trades. You're always fucking up. You're always making a mistake. The other thing about trading that I believe in trading is just don't lose money. If you don't lose money, you're not going to be unhappy. Because there's no perfect trade. You ever in a zone? Why do you quit when you're in that zone?
When you've reached your goal.
No, when you miss, finally. I mean, you don't make 25 baskets in a row and quit. You wait till you miss. At least once, don't you? When you're hot, just keep betting more. And that's the thing about human nature. And I swear to God that 99 to 100% still don't get it down there. When you're hot, bet more. When you're cold, walk away, bet less. And it's just against human nature. Because when you lose, you want to bet more because I can't lose anymore in this. You know what I mean? I'll double up. And I would always leave at 9 o'clock because every card would be a loser. So I knew, like, there's just sometimes you know you suck. Leave. I mumble?
I mean, you mumbled a couple times, but we're not going to use that.
It's Reba. Want to stop by? A deuce? And then bring that girl. Right. Just get your fucking ass over here. Let's go out. I mumble though?